Hi, I'm Susan Kennard, and I felt drawn to do a live video today. I get guided from my guides when to do these live videos, and I thought before I start with my clients today, I would share something with you. So I'm just waiting for a few people to come on, and we'll just see who's here. Oh, quite a few people, that's brilliant. So, as you know, if you're watching this, then you're obviously on my Facebook group or you are a friend of mine on Facebook. And so, you know, my background is psychology and psychotherapy. I'm a medium as well, and I'm an energy healer. So, essentially, I combine all of those things together to help you release your unwanted emotions and traumas and within your energy field. So the reason why I wanted to call this choosing to respond differently to a situation is because when we have situations in our life, we often just react. So why we react is what I really want to talk to you about, because once we get the sense that we understand why we react, then we've got the empowerment to be able to shift that and change that. You know, that whole thing that people talk about and they say, well, people can change, but they have to want to change. So we can't change anyone. The only person that we can change is ourselves. So we can't change our partner, we can't change our family, we can't change our friends, but what we can do is change ourselves. And so when we change ourselves, meaning when we change the way we respond to things, we change our energy field, we change aspects of ourselves that we want to improve or we want to enhance, then what happens is the ones around us, say our family, our friends, our partners, our children, are the ones that look like they've changed. And it's really fun to see. So as we shift our vibration and we release our unwanted emotions, then we're able to see that our external world, our environment, our home, our family situations, our family home where we were brought up in, situations with work, wherever we work, change. Our boss might change if we work for somebody else. Our children might respond differently. So this is what I want to talk about today. So with all that information I've just given you, just want you to take a deep breath. So just put your hands on your heart if you're not driving, close your eyes and just breathe in. Just take a deep breath and take in what I've just said to you. Just integrate it into your field. Okay, so we have many situations in our life where we can say that person did that to me, or that happened because of that person, or that happened because that shouldn't have happened. But when we start to take responsibility for vibrationally what we've attracted into our world, we can then turn the dial slightly and just tweak it sometimes, just to allow ourselves to say, oh, I wonder what that was that I reacted to. I wonder how I could have looked at that differently. I wonder what it is within me that attracted that situation. Now, the guides are really coming in quite closely now. And what I'm getting here is it's the feeling that you can have many situations in your life, and yes, there will be times that you react to them. But when you can take a step back and look at, well, perhaps I overreacted, or perhaps I shouted, or perhaps I made that person feel really difficult about that situation when actually I'd attracted it into my world, we start to feel that we have that empowerment that we can just turn that dial once again and just slightly twizzle it around so that we can say, what part of me responded? So is it the adult part of you that responded? Probably not. Is it the child part of you that responded? Probably yes. But that child part of you shows themselves when they feel either threatened or unloved or unrespected, or just those feelings of abandonment or feeling rabbit in headlights. And that's when us as an adult respond just like that. When that part of us, that inner child part of us, reacts. We are not getting our needs met in that moment. We are a child. We may be a teenager. We could be a baby. And so the work that I do with people and the work that I teach you to do for yourself is helping you to find that part of you, that little child part of you that responds in those situations. Now, even if you've had, let's say, for example, I mean, I work with veterans quite often that have experienced PTSD, post-traumatic stress, and quite often that will be triggered from an experience that they've had later on in life. So they might be on the battlefield, or they might have experienced seeing somebody hurt or killed, and that trigger in that moment will take them back to times when they felt shock or vulnerability. So that's not to discount that war situations are not traumatic and that are not serious. It's just that I've found in the time that I've worked for over 20 years now as a therapist, and the last 10 years as an energy therapist, I've noticed that there's a trend. So that I've noticed that always, there is a part of us as a child that has experienced an emotion. So we have a perception of an emotion. So then later on in life, so we might have a car accident, we might have a breakup with a partner, we might have any kind of accident actually, or a shock at work, or someone says something to us. Always, when I work with people, it goes right back to, if we're working with this lifetime, we look at that part of us, that child part of us that actually felt that emotion. And that's where the key is to our healing. And that's where the key is to us being able to respond differently in situations. Does that make sense? And then we can look at, of course, well, where did that get triggered from? And of course, that's another part of work that some people love to do, which is where we look at the Akashic realms. And the Akashic realms is really where all our lifetimes are held, all our experiences are held. And I get shown clairvoyantly where that came from. So I can see contracts that are held, agreements that you made time before time. I mean, we're talking lifetime after lifetime. And then that gets triggered in childhood. So it's really fascinating and an interesting experience. And as we're reaching this time now, this time of great transformation and expansion, we're having to look at, what am I responding to in the external world? How is it that that is showing me something about myself? And it could be about this time, this lifetime that we're experiencing now, that we chose to have to spread more light into the world. Or it could be that it came from previous times, previous lifetimes and experiences, and also ancestral. So we bring in with us on a genetic level, of course, but also on an epigenetic level. So epigenetics are the thought form that we've brought in from our ancestors, from our generation of generation. So our mothers, our fathers, etc., etc. So has anyone got any questions about that? So there's lots and lots of people watching. If there are any questions, I'm really happy to answer them, and I'll have a look in a moment. There's lots of people here. I can't say hi to everybody, but I can see Kerry and Jacqueline and Torgan and Ken. Oh, hi, Ken. So Ken is works with lots of veterans. So it's brilliant that you're on here. Sarah, Dean, lots of people. Leslie, hi Leslie. Amazing to see you here. So there's lots and lots of people. And Zoe, and my cat's just about to burn her nose on the candle, so I'm blowing it out. So that's a response. So I could have gone, ah, but instead I took the candle and blew it out. Okay, so do you see what I mean? So are there situations in your life where you feel that you could have responded in a more adult way? So a more adult way in the sense that you perhaps didn't shout, you didn't scream, you didn't go into shock, and how much more empowered would you feel because of that? So let's do a little process together, because that's what I love to do. Let's do a little process where we're just going to access a little tiny bit of us. So think about a situation that's happened this week, because we're Friday, so I'm sure some things have happened this week. So think about that situation in your mind, and if you are able to visualize it. That really helps. And just put your hands on your heart if you're not driving, obviously, and close your eyes if you can do that. And I just want you to feel into your body. So just breathe in and feel into your body. Where do you feel that feeling? Okay, good. So where do you feel that in your body, in your experience now, when you think about what happened or how you responded? Okay, good. And just connect with that within your field. And then ask that child to step forward. How old is that child? And even if you can't see, just know the number. Because we're going from this part of our brain to this part of our brain, which is essentially the reptilian. It's the part of our brain, it's the old part of our brain, the amygdala, that actually holds all the information before we had language, often. So these traumas often happen before language, before we can actually speak, before we can say, oh, I need help, or before we can say I'm in shock. You know, this is there way before. So ask that child to step forward if you can see, if you're able to see. And if you're not able to see, just listen to your intuition and listen to the age. And then give that child all the love and comfort that it didn't receive in that moment. Okay, so we might imagine that perhaps there's a beautiful being of light around that child, that they know that they're not on their own, they're not abandoned. We might imagine that we're giving that child a hug and saying, I'm here for you, I love you very much, you're beautiful, you're kind, you're clever. Okay, so we're giving ourselves compassion, and we're the only one that can actually heal ourselves. No one else can heal us. We have all the power within us to heal ourselves. Okay, so just give that child that love. And obviously in a bespoke session or a group call, we don't be able to go a lot deeper. But in this case, you just give that child as much love and just listen to what that child needed that they didn't get in that moment. Okay? And then just bring that child into your heart. Okay? And quite often I like to imagine that there's a beautiful light in your heart and the child is residing in that beautiful light, and they're sparkly and they feel free. There may be some other layers that need to be worked on. The guides are telling me that this will just open up the possibility of healing for some of you that maybe were not ready to look at it before but are ready now. Okay. And then just think about that situation that you started with. So perhaps it was a conversation or a shock or a decision you made and it was difficult for you, or you responded to someone in anger. So have a look at that situation now and how does it feel to you? And just feel how it feels. And feel how it might feel in your body now, maybe a little bit lighter. Okay. And this is just one of the ways that you can access what's going on in your reflection. So if you imagine that the external world is a mirror, and that everything in your external world mirrors the vibrational set point that you are. So people talk about law of attraction a lot, and we can talk about that. But there are many laws of the universe. But if we can just, this one thing, if we can just really be empowered with what we're attracting into our world, how do we feel about it? How do we respond? And not to beat ourselves up, not to feel guilty, not to feel shame, although those things do come up when we start looking at ourselves and we start healing those children, that child within us, and those children that show themselves. But to look at it and say, oh, I'm so grateful that that happened in my life. I'm so grateful that my body showed me that message. I'm so grateful I had that pain or that dis-ease. Because actually, that was my message, to listen to me, to love me, to understand more about me, to make choices that are right for me. And that's what it's all about. You know, we can make dream boards, we can create in our mind, but we have to take responsibility for what gets in the way of that. So what I've found over many, many years of doing this work, and obviously for myself, I'm a walking example of the work that I do, because I work on myself every day. I see something, I respond to it, I look at, oh my goodness, that's really interesting. What part of me is showing myself to me? If I have an ache or pain, I'm like, oh, what emotion is that? Where's that coming from? You know, and I do talk to my guides, so I have that fine-tuned ability to have a direct dialogue with my guidance, which is something that develops when you start to clear your energy field. You know, many years ago, I used to run physical circles at my old home, actually, and I used to run them in the evening. And what I found was that as we started to work on ourselves, we started to heal our vibration and heal the unwanted emotions, then the connection to source, the connection to our inner guidance was much clearer. And so what I find with my clients is that they might come to me for a specific thing, but they end up being much more in alignment with their mission, why they came. So situations that arise in your life may be just that little message to say, oh, I wonder if I am in alignment with what really, really I love to do. And I always say to people that, you know, what I do is, it's not kind of like work. I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm being who I am. I feel like I'm giving my light when I work with people, and I'm receiving an incredible amount of light at the same time. So it's this beautiful symbiotic relationship where I am a channel so that people can heal themselves, essentially, so you can heal yourself. So I will look at the comments in a moment, but what I wanted to say that I'm starting an online live healing group, which is going to be the second Wednesday every month. So that's where we're going to, it's going to be at 1 o'clock at lunchtime. So 1 o'clock, so 1 p.m. UK time. So if you're in America, it's going to be early in the morning for you, perhaps before you go to work, which might be a really good thing to do. And for people here in the UK, it will be a lunchtime. And it's going to be for approximately an hour. They're all recorded as well. So you get a recording of a visual video recording of the session. And I'm going to be looking at different topics each month: self-worth, money, all the things that come up in our life, relationships. So we're going to be covering many, many different subjects. Each month will be a different one. And it will be bespoke to the group that turns up on that day. So you'll receive individual healing as well as group healing, which I ran them last year, and people tell me that they found them really, really helpful. So if you would like to do that, you can go onto my website, which is susankennard.co.uk, go into shop, where you would find subscriptions. So you can either choose to pay a monthly subscription, which is £33, or if you choose to just buy 1 month and you just want to try it out, you're welcome to just try it out, and it's £44. But if you want to subscribe, you get every single month, and even if you can't attend, you get the recording because you're on my subscription list. The other thing you can do to find out about all the different events that I'm doing and the online courses, etc., is subscribe to my newsletter. So if you go onto my website, once again, scroll down, there's a subscription to my newsletter where you'll receive a free meditation download as well, which is called the Earth Star Soul Star, which allows you to connect and ground. It's a daily meditation to do. So if you go onto my website, or just email me, susan@susankennard.co.uk, and I'll send you the link. In fact, I'll put the link down here below. So it starts on the 2nd Wednesday of May, and it's going to run every single month on the 2nd Wednesday, okay? And I can't wait to do it. Actually, I ran quite a few last year, and I absolutely love doing them. We really covered so much, and we ended up clearing many different relationship blocks, blocks to success, to money, to manifesting, to our physical body, to our light body. Many childhood blocks were cleared. So I'd love to have you on the group. It is not going to be a big group. It's going to be a small bespoke group for you guys, and I won't be taking any more than 15 people, okay? So there's not that many places because I like to work with people on a individual level as well, okay? So I'm just going to go and have a look down here, but I will post a link for you at the bottom. Many comments here. Let me have a look. Okay, so see, and let me know. Let me know how you got on with that process. It's just lots. I can't see the comments on here at the moment, but I will look. I will definitely look at them and reply to them. Let me have a look. See if I can see them now. It's difficult on this screen, but I will reply to them. So whatever you want to ask me, I will reply to. But please do join me. So the next one, the first one rather, is going to be the 8th of May, and it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon. But please go on to my website, susankennard.co.uk, where you can find out ways of how to work with me as well, whether you want a mission reading, bespoke work, buy a package of work with me. And I work just like this. And I work on Zoom, and you get a recording of all the sessions, so you don't need to take notes or anything like that. So it's been a pleasure to have you here with me. I will reply to everybody's comments, and I look forward to seeing you on the group call. Okay, much love. Bye-bye.